So this is day 49 with Eton, and again working inside the barn, getting him to come out of his stall. He's getting much better about thinking about crossing. It just takes a little bit of back and forth, letting him kind of figure it out. And again, he's very much a flight horse, so just trying to work on getting his reactions to kind of look to me a little bit. And he tried just with working with the halter, but he got a little bit uncomfortable, so I went ahead and put the butt rope around him, and you can see he handles that pretty well. So I wanted to practice working, walking around and leading in the barn, since, I mean, he does it fine in the round pen, but I'm clearly he still gets pretty worried. So just going back and forth in the barn. And I'm going to speed this up for you guys just for time's sake, because I did this a couple of times with the butt rope. And again, he kind of likes to stop right by his stall, but he's starting to handle walking past the things a little bit better. And then I give him a minute here. I take the butt rope off, give him a good rub, and then again speed it up as I practice walking just off of the halter. So pressure and release, getting him to walk past some scary things, seeing the other horses. And then again, trying to teach him to kind of walk right next to my shoulder, because I found the timid horses tend to do a little bit better if you're kind of like right there with them versus them being behind you. So walking into the wash rack is almost the easy part for him. You'll see I kind of put my hand up so he doesn't run over the top of me, because that can be a tendency of some horses get in there and they scare themselves. So I'm going to have him walk back out so we can go try that again. Just want to work on having that relaxation so I can get a little bit more of that body control. And that was a little bit better. You can see he's pretty good about putting on the cross ties, because once he's in the wash rack, he's actually pretty content since he's got the 3 walls behind him. And then I started to introduce him to the brushes, so I could start grooming him, getting him nice and clean. And he's handling the brushing pretty well, working on inching my way back. Always kind of checking in with him, of course. And then seeing if I can touch down his legs a little bit. So I went past kind of the elbow, which was a big deal. Gave him a little bit of space. Now I'm going to go back. That was really good. You can give him a minute to kind of process that. Now I'm going to go to the right side. Letting him think about the brush. I like to introduce the objects to them first and then go ahead and start brushing him. So you can see he's pretty good. You know, I know oftentimes they can be so one-sided in the beginning, which he still is, but clearly he can handle me being on the right side. And movement as well. Just working on brushing him, I'm able to get back to his haunches, which was kind of a big deal. But he's a little distracted because I had some visitors coming in. So I had my friend and student Layton and her 2 kids come in, Camille and Reese. So we did a little bit of exercise of them walking up, and then I had them go to the other side of the barn just because he was getting pretty worried. So we just did a little bit of pressure and release kind of with the kids. Let the kids come in and then let them leave. because that could be a lot for him since he's not used to that much activity. And so now working on the right side, picking up or touching that leg, handled that pretty well. And I'm just going back and forth, switching sides. Touching, giving him pats. He actually enjoys the pats, it seems, as a reward as well. And oftentimes what they like to do is kind of push themselves back into a corner. So you'll see me always kind of asking him to take a step forward. So now I've graduated to working on picking up the leg. So he's had a little bit of education with the rope. And you'll see I kind of grabbed his feathers. So I found that picking up the feathers doesn't hurt them. A lot of my Mustangs are actually cued too if you pick up the feathers to pick up the foot. It can be the same as squeezing the chestnut or squeezing the tendon, so it's very much a cue. So now I work to the other side. It's letting me touch past his shoulder and his back. And then I went and I got some cookies for him to play some positive reward with the cookies. And he's doing really well now, doesn't seem to be hesitating with me on the right side, which is nice. Now I'm going to work on bending down with that right leg, which he's still a little bit uncomfortable about. But he's letting me touch it. And get a lick and chew. So I'm going to give him a reward for that. And then go back. So a lot of this stuff is very repetitive. As you can see, he kind of handled the kid running past the wash rack. That was okay. And I actually got him to pick up the right front, which was good. He kind of expected a cookie for that, but he got a rub instead. Just because that, I don't want him thinking he can just grab for a cookie. So he gets the rewards intermittently. So then I go back and I switch to the other side. It was a little bit of a give, so reward that. Took a deep breath and took a lick and chew. Again, he's letting me kind of get right around his barrel, and I'm able to touch now past the point of his hip, which is a good progress. Back to working on the left front. Just let me touch it that time. So I go back and forth between asking them to pick it up and then letting me just touch it. Then working on touching him with both hands. And he's handling the cross ties being lifted up. Again, going and touching past his hip. He got a little uncomfortable, so I go back to where he's comfortable. And then he dropped his head and did a lick and chew, so then I backed off even more. And just gave him a second. He wanted to keep licking and chewing some. Again, just working on now touching past a little bit by the sacrum now. Getting some nice lick and chew. And he actually picked up the foot pretty good. And then let me just hold my hand there. And then I just ask him to step up. I'm looking for a good spot to finish, as that was a really good session.